Hear me in the World Vibes Radio. Why they my use ya? Not take no talkie. Be careful of some places where you walk. Some no know God, them no read Bible. Then we shoot you down with them rifle. Do not bring no guns, come to town. It's World Vibes, tell them leave that at home. Them better bring love, come to town. It's I say spread the joy around. World Vibes Radio. I'm not taking this now. Let's go and teach your youth them. Play some good music, educate them.
Yo, check this out. This is Anthony Cruz, and you don't know it's the Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans with Joshua. Keep it locked, man. Blaze it hot. Anthony
Cruz. Yeah. I've lifted mine eyes and I've seen the sign of the times. Daddy Marcus prophesied there nothing long time. Oh Lord, with the ignorance of our people has held us captives of our own mind. Can't you see we're running out of time? Let's change our lives, my brothers and sisters. Answer the calling of the Father. He is the only one that's willing to save us divine. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Yeah. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Whoa.
And Lego this year one year.
Eyes, and I've seen the sign of the times. Daddy Marcus prophesied there nothing long time. Oh Lord, with the ignorance of our people has held us captives of our own mind. Can't you see we're running out of time? Let's change our lives, my brothers and sisters. Answer the calling of the Father. He is the only one that's willing to save us divine. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Yeah. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Whoa.
Cause we know we're not gonna get away. With the wrongs we continue to display. A scripture from the good book say, according to our works we shall get paid. We've gotta be sure the things we've done has been worthy under the sun.
Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Whoa. I bingy chant right. Now there's a way to live within a way to love the other race that you might hate. Cause in this new time we gotta live to love and everyone learn to appreciate. Let's change our lives, my brothers and sisters. Answer the calling of the Father. He's the only one that's willing to save us divine. Get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it. Boy, get ready for a new time. I've seen a new sign. And I bingy chant right. Mother Nature revealed it, and I do believe it.
Cause we know we're not gonna
since I've been trying to get it on with you, but you keep on saying you don't know what to do. Don't know much about you, yet you're always on my mind. So all you gotta do is leave it to time. Everything will be fine. Time alone can do anything. Time can move any mountain. Time will make you realize someone's in love with you. Baby, it's true. Yeah. So what are we gonna do? Punchy-loo, now you know how I feel. Will you ever realize that I'm for real? Let me assure you, not promise you, I won't break your heart. Now you know it right from the start. So leave it to time. Time alone can do anything. Time will move any mountain. Time will make you realize someone's in love with you. Baby, it's true. Oh yeah. Baby, it's true. See, yeah. Since I've been trying to get it on with you, but you keep on saying you don't know what to do. Make up your mind and give it a try. Now you know the score. 'Cause girl, I've been knocking your door. So leave it to time. Time alone can do anything. Time can move any mountain. Time will make you realize someone's in love with you. Baby, it's true. Oh yeah. Time alone can do anything. Time can move any mountain. Time will make you realize someone's in love with you. Baby, it's true. Oh. Don't ever forget where you're coming from. No. Don't ever forget those who helped you along your way. Your ego flies high to the sky. Remember what goes around comes around. Everyone needs someone, but it seems you've forgotten. You should never burn your bridges behind you, 'cause you never know what life has in store for you. Always do the good and good will follow, 'cause you never know what happens tomorrow. Time is the master, yet time can be disaster. Help a brother if he's down, yeah. Love and be loved, and you'll be blessed from above. But it seems you've forgotten. You should never burn your bridges behind you, 'cause you never know what life has in store for you. Always do the good and good will follow, 'cause you never know what happens tomorrow. master. Help a brother if he's down. Love and be loved, and you'll be blessed from above. But it seems you've forgotten. Yeah, you should never burn your bridges behind you. 'Cause you never know what life has in store for you. Always do the good and good will follow. 'Cause you never know what happens tomorrow. You should never burn your bridges behind you. 'Cause you never know what life has in store. Oh, no, no. Always do the good and good will follow. 'Cause you never. Oh, no, no. Your smile, I can see you rising right before me. I can't believe my eyes. In your touch, I can feel the transformation as my heart melts away. Could it be that you have the gift to capture my heart and answer my wish? Could it be that you have what it takes for love to survive in your smile? Your smile, your words, I can read between the lines and I see clearly where you're coming from. And in your eyes, I can see you really want me, but won't say, please stay. Could it be that you have the gift to capture my heart and answer my wish? Could it be that you have what it takes for love to survive in your smile? In your smile, I can see a new horizon right before me. I can't believe my eyes. In your touch, I can feel the transformation as my heart melts away. Could it be that you have the gift to capture my heart and answer my wish? Could it be that you have what it takes for love to survive in your smile? In your Could it be that you have the gift to capture my heart and answer my wish? Could it be that you have what it takes for love to survive in your smile? My Father, my God, you've been my Father for as long as I can remember. A father till the end. You've been my friend, a friend forever. for all eternity. The closest friend to me, yes. And when the road of life seemed rough and rocky, you were there for me. You keep me strong with your blessings and true with your mercy. You'll always be my Father, my friend, my God, my guide. Forever you will be, and I will walk by your side. My Father, my friend, my God, my guide. My love for you I'll never hide. No. You are my God, the only one I ever had. You proved your love for me, yes. You are my guide. Your footsteps I will walk with pride. My praises I'll give to thee. You're my Father, my friend, my God, my guide. Forever you will be, and I will sing by your side. My Father, my friend, my God, my guide. My love for you I'll never hide. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. My God. When the road of life seemed rough and rocky, you were there for me. You keep me strong with your blessings and true with your mercy. You'll always be my Father, my friend.
I'm in the forward. Pull up that. Black people, keep your hands up. Empire Selassie, I bless them. Burning fire, never yet stop. Simplicity we used to survive. Men find it difficult because they're ignorant now. Simplicity we used to survive. Do what you doing properly. That's the way through life. Simplicity we used to survive. Men find it difficult because they're ignorant now. Simplicity we used to survive. Children, open up your eyes. It's not the one bag of vanity nor the animosity nor the hypocrisy nor democracy. It's not the laba nor the backstab nor the vampire evil's desire. It's just a meditation of my heart. Pure and conscious thought. Be overstanding and be smart. Listen to the children speak the word and shine the light in the dark, yeah. Simplicity we used to survive. Men who find it difficult because they're ignorant and die. Simplicity me used to survive. Do what you doing properly. That's the way through life. Simplicity I used to survive. Children, open up your eyes. Simplicity me used to survive. Burn Pharisees and scribes. Yeah. Avoid your anger, God report. Praise Rastafari and live a worthy cause. Give us all the blessing, give us all reward to help the poor and find it easy when them find it hard. Simplicity I used to survive, men don't find it difficult because they ignorant and die. Simplicity I used to survive, I shall live and love your life. Keep doing what you're doing, don't you grumble. See what you sow is what you reap, so be humble. Know what you're doing, you never stumble. Burn down Rome, I saw them crumble. Lead the way with the word what I speak. Never must you stray, praise the King in the east. Oh, I know you teach, I am not spirit. Oh, yeah. Simplicity I used to survive. Men find it difficult because they're ignorant and all. Simplicity I used to survive. Burn Pharisees and scribes. Simplicity I used to survive. Men find it difficult because they're ignorant and all. Simplicity I used to survive. Oh, Galante tell you, it's not the one bag of vanity nothing. ding. Animosity nor ding. Hypocrisy nor democracy. It's not ding. Lava lava nor ding. Backstabber nor the vampire. Your evil lost desire. It's just a meditation of my heart. It's just a pure and conscious thought. Be overstanding, I tell you to be smart. Listen to the children when they speak and shine the light in the dark. Simplicity I used to survive. Them to find it difficult because they ignorant and dark. Simplicity I used to survive. Children, live and love your life.
And Lego this year one, yeah.
Just organize and centralize my people because Babylon now instill malicious and grudge upon my people now. You see the dirty lifestyle? There's nothing in them system of which they create all around. And they criticize their own children, yeah, they would catch at a straw if they were to drown. They're not different from those scribes and Pharisees who come around. They lurks in the corners, skylarks on the streets, flirts in the towns. They never do positive. They find a joy making people business their own. Dance a yard before you dance abroad. The high priest tell you that I knew they from God and go get good ways. True grace, of the perch we pass a young gate. You have the good ways, it give you long days. Now take no bribe from that a screw face. Go get good ways, good grace. Perch we pass a young gate. You have some good ways, it give you long days. What do you say? I tell you now, they await your downfall. Figure lava and talk. Yo, what is that? Greater joy, you come this on you a figure. Have a donkey job won't fill off. When Babylon City, you go down propaganda where them spread becomes a dagger to them heart. Things say them have a secret. The baby reveal it, so them a walk witchcraft out. So them better, so them a closing. Contempt the youth, them where they pass. Every man is equal. Rastafari say, try not on the ungodly part. God and go get it good ways. Long days, birds be pass a young gate. What about your good ways? It give you length of days. Yo, now you taste how you medicine they taste. Yeah, what? What's them now? I thought about them this, them that. Who slick from who flap, them some ass Joe Bush. And anything else where fi come and must be rubbish and trash. Every day that them practice the same thing they never yet know when to stop. Full up a bad mind. Then I want make you want to see your brother drop. Go and have some good ways. True grace. First before you pass I and get go and have some good ways. It give you long days. Now them chase out them medicine that taste. Good ways. Long days. Now let the King Selassie you no screw face. Good ways. It give you length of days. Now take no bribe from no screw face. Just have some good ways. It give you length of days. This I want a true fight. I tell you now, there's nothing in the system that they'll create around. They criticize their own hygiene, yet they would catch at us more if they were to drown. Don't you see they're not much different from the scribes on the Pharisees?
That's right, friends. They're not much different. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans. My name is Joshua, and it is September 11th, 2024, and I cannot believe it was 23 years ago that the Twin Towers got hit by terrorists and fell. My condolences to all of the people, all the families who lost loved ones on that terrible, terrible day. May the souls of those who died rest in peace. And may their families be comforted. Wow, I remember that day. You know, I was working in Manhattan for Merrill Lynch, and I was at the Vesey Street location, and I remember coming out to the train station, and then when I about to approach my building, I look up and I could see the Twin Towers ahead, to my left. It was several miles away, but I saw the second explosion, right? The explosion of the second plane hitting from the opposite side. So I didn't see the plane hit, but I saw the explosion. I saw the fire and the smoke plume, right? And I was like, what is going on? And then go inside, and then people had it on the news, and then they never know at the point that it was a terrorist attack. But boy, what a day, what a day. Again, my deepest condolences goes out to those who lost loved ones, families, friends on that terrible, terrible, terrible day. So good evening again, everyone. And on a more joyful note, we're here to share the wisdom of Kabbalah, which is the ancient Israelite wisdom that Moses received on Mount Sinai. I have been a student of Kabbalah for the last 16 years at the Kabbalah Center in New York City. And as I've mentioned many times, I grew up in a Jamaican household. And like most Jamaican households, the predominant religion was Christianity. And I was fortunate enough to live with, or my grandmother lived with us. And she was a praying woman. She was someone who was always reading her Bible. She had a Bible on her knee at all times, except when she was sleeping. And she spent her days reading scriptures. I even have a picture of her, a very famous picture of my grandmother, looking down at her Bible. And my mother also was a strong woman of faith, Miss Barbara. May her soul rest in peace as well, because she passed just this year in March at the age of 91. 91 is a very special number, Psalms 91 is a very special number. And 91 is also the numerical value of the word Amen, which is a combination of two names of the Creator, two names of God. The Yud K, Vav K, and the Aleph Dalif Nun Yud. You put those two names together, the numerical value is 91. So, Miss Barbara, I pray that you continue to elevate through the gates, and may you rest in peace, and may you continue your work in the upper realms. So, again, we're here, and we are in the 30 days of Virgo, in the Hebrew month of Elul. We are now in the 8th day. So we have 22 more days to go before Rosh Hashanah, which is the beginning of the new cycle. It is customarily known as the Jewish New Year, or the Israelite New Year. I prefer that term. And the Kabbalists teach that the Creator has given us this month, these 30 days, in preparation for the new cycle, in the preparation for Rosh Hashanah, which is the birthday of man. The birthday of man. Rosh Hashanah is the 6th day of creation, according to the scriptures. So, which would make the 25th day, right? The 25th day of the month of Elul, of this month, would be the first day of creation, cosmically, according to the scriptures. Because then, right, the 6 days, if Rosh Hashanah is the first day of Libra, the constellation of Libra, right, is the first day of Libra, but it is actually the 6th day of creation and the birthday of mankind. So if you count backwards, the 25th day of Virgo would cosmically represent the first day of creation, day 1 in the scriptures. So it is something for us to pay attention to, because, as I've mentioned before, Kabbalah is not a religion, it's a science. And it's a science of how to interact with the universe. It is the secrets. It is the wisdom that the Creator gave Israel in how to navigate the world and the spiritual system. There is a form known as the tree of life. Remember, it says in Genesis that the Creator made many trees, one of them being the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the other being the tree of life. He told Adam not to eat from the tree of knowledge, because in the day that he eat, he shall begin to die. He shall start to partake of the death process, and eventually he would die. But interestingly enough, in Genesis chapter 3, after Eve was coerced in eating, and the problem wasn't that they ate, it was the timing. Okay, it was the timing of when they ate. Because they themselves were not prepared. They were not mature enough to absorb and to digest the fruit of the tree of knowledge. Because it says, God himself says in Genesis 3:22, behold, the man has become like one of us, to know both good and evil. Now, hopefully, he will take also from the tree of life and then live forever. So in order for mankind, for man, Adam, to be like God, because it was God's intention for man to be like him, to be like God. Okay? Because remember, he said, let us make man in our image and in our likeness, and let him have dominion. So mankind was supposed to eat from the tree of knowledge, but if you eat from the tree of knowledge alone, if you have a steady diet of the tree of knowledge alone, and do not incorporate a diet or the fruit from the tree of life, you will die. You will die. So, what is the tree of life? The tree of life is the wisdom of Kabbalah. The tree of life is known as Zir and Pin. The tree of life is the Zohar, the wisdom that teaches us about the spiritual system and how to connect to the energy of the Torah. What is the Torah? The Torah is the 5 books of Moses, primarily. Right? And the Zohar is a compilation of conversations between rabbis, the main rabbi being Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, which was a reincarnation of Moses. The spirit of Moses came back to further reveal secrets of the Torah. Remember, Moses received the 5 books on Mount Sinai. Moses was the chosen channel, chosen by the Creator to bring the Israelites out of slavery. He was the deliverer. Right? My friends, there is a reason why over 150 times it says in the Torah, well, not in Genesis because Moses doesn't come on the scene until in Exodus chapter 1. Right? There's a reason why over 150 times the scriptures say, and God said unto Moses. And God said unto Moses. The word of the Lord came unto Moses and said. Why is that? Because Moses is the proper channel, my friends. Moses is the proper channel. Jesus of Nazareth, Yeshua, which is his rightful name, is indeed a channel. Okay? He is indeed a very powerful channel. But he's not a better channel than Moses. And in fact, Rabbi Shimon, which is a reincarnation of Moses, is the channel that we should be using today, because he is the one who the Creator revealed the secrets of the Zohar to. And the Zohar is what will help us to connect to the energy of the Torah so that we can be more than giants, so that we can be successful in this world of physicality. Rabbi Shimon is the channel. Because in the Zohar, even Moses, you know, this might be a little hard to comprehend for most. When I say that Rabbi Shimon is a reincarnation of Moses, see, reincarnation is a fact. Our soul never dies. And therefore, if we get to a point in our lives, usually it's old age, okay, for the most part, but there are those who die younger. And it says that Moses never died. Or we should say he never died the death of normal people. He was just removed, okay, from our presence in this physical world. The soul of Moses, as the Zohar tells us, comes back in every generation. In fact, the Kabbalah Center, the Rav, teaches that anyone can be Moses. Anyone who is willing to give up their life to channel the soul of Moses can be that. But how many of us are really willing to do that? How many of us are even able to do that? Much more than, willing. Right? So it says that Moses and Elijah's another one who didn't die. He was taken up. Both came and taught Rabbi Shimon and his son when they were hiding out in the cave. When they run from Saul, of Tarsus. In the book of Acts, where it talks about where, the story where Saul was heading to persecute Christians, quote unquote Christians. There were no Christians back then. Okay? There were those who followed the teachings of Yeshua, which was Kabbalah, because Yeshua never teach anything apart from what is in the Zohar. Everything that Yeshua taught is in the Zohar. He knew the Zohar, even though the Zohar wasn't written for anybody to read it back then. But he understood the wisdom of the Zohar because he was connected to the light force of the Creator. He was connected directly to the source. And when you're connected directly to the source, you will receive knowledge and understanding much more clearer. Jesus had a purpose. And his purpose was to show us what it looks like to be a son of God. And here's a secret for you. You see, the term son of God was not unique to Jesus. Why do I say that? Because in the Zohar itself, in the portion of Behar, which is, I think it's Leviticus, Numbers, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers. I think it's in Numbers. The book of Numbers. You see, we as Christians know the division of the Old Testament by the books Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. However, for the Israelite, there were 52 portions that were revealed, that was divine inspiration was given to Ezra. You know, Ezra, who have a book named after him in the Bible. He was a priest and he was a prophet. All right? And he was given divine inspiration to divide up the 5 books of Moses into 52 sections so that we would be able to read, the believer would be able to read one of those sections every Shabbat, every Saturday. So that they could connect to the light force of the Creator. Okay? So that is why when the Israelite goes to temple, they're listening to one of those 52 sections. And we, Kabbalah for Jamaicans group, we offer that free of charge to you to listen or to experience the Kabbalistic Shabbat connection. We don't call them services, we call them connections. Because we're connecting to the light force. We're connecting to the upper worlds. We're connecting to the energy of the Creator. And I would like to invite you, if you have, a smartphone where you can download Zoom, the Zoom application, you'd be able to observe, to watch on screen the Kabbalistic morning connection, morning and afternoon connections, and the reading of the Torah. You'll see everything up on the screen and you'll hear it. There's very little that's more special than that event. Okay? Very little. And since my wife and I have been observing that, what does it mean to observe? It means to align our lives. We've aligned our lives to the forces of creation. We've aligned our lives to receive knowledge and wisdom and understanding from the Creator. That is why the Israelite does not work on Saturday. Because, now listen, we're not here to be religious or to say that we follow follow doctrines, yeah? If a person have to work on Saturday, them have to work on Saturday. There should be no guilt. And what you do is you pray that the Creator will, or that you'll find something, a different type of job where you don't have to work on a Saturday. But even if you do have to work on a Saturday, you can still make your connection. You can still make your connection. And that is to listen to the Torah reading, which is the most powerful part of the connection. Listening to the Torah. Why? Because the Torah is God breathed. Right? Even though it's in the form of stories, the Creator in his infinite wisdom encapsulated his light force energy in the Hebrew letters, for one, and then stories of a historical nature of, man's relationship with God, man's relationship with each other. So, by aligning your life to the laws of the universe, which is laid out in the Torah, in the 5 books of Moses, by aligning your life to that frequency, you start to vibrate at a higher level. You start vibrating at a higher frequency. And as a result of that, you start attracting higher things. You start to become a magnet. You become a magnet for good things. Right? So, what we're sharing here is high wisdom. In fact, last night was a prime example of that. Before we went to the 30-minute Zohar reading dedicated to Jamaica at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 in Jamaica. Before we had gone to that, I played a lecture by one of the senior teachers of the center. His name is Mayor Yeshurun. And it was really, really deep. It was about the sin of the Adam and Eve, what really happened in the garden, and he broke it down Kabbalistically. And for those of you who were here listening, I would have loved to have heard what you thought about it. So I'm actually going to give out my phone number to the studio, and you can send me a text. It's a WhatsApp number. You can send me a text, or you can just write it in. My number is country code +1 516 965 5700. Again, country code +1 516 965 5700. So, as I said, what we do here is we teach, we expose. We expose you to a wisdom that you have not known before. Majority of you have not known before. I strongly believe that Jamaicans have a strong tie to Israelites, okay, to those who call themselves Jews. There's a lot of controversy about what's going on in Gaza, and my heart goes out to the Gazanians. I think it's unfair what's happening to them. Very, very unfair what's happening to them. Very unfortunate and very unfair. So, but Kabbalah teaches that we are responsible for what goes on in the world. In fact, they teach us that they teach us that all of our work, all of our spiritual work is to be directed to the healing of the Shekinah. They teach us that there's only two things that exist: the light force of the Creator and the vessel. Everything in creation is a vessel because it absorbs light and reflects light. Hey, those who have an ear to hear, let them hear. What you're going to be hearing here, you more than likely have never heard it anywhere else. So I encourage you to keep listening. If you consider yourself a spiritual person, keep listening. Because the things that you will hear here will blow your mind for the better. Yeah. Better off. Some very serious times in this country, in the United States. As many of you know, there was a debate by Kamala Harris, Jamaican heritage, and Donald Trump. So it's a very critical time in our country and in the world. And I'll say no more about that. Other than, for those of you who live in the States and are eligible to vote, make sure you cast your vote. That's the loudest voice that we can make. There you go. So, all right. So yeah, I was saying that last night's lecture by Mayor Yeshurun was very deep. He was talking about, different levels in the tree of life, which are the 10 sphirot, 10 energy attributes. Yes. Yeah, it's important to learn new concepts. Okay, very important. And we have to kind of reprogram ourselves. To get to where we're supposed to, we have to reprogram ourselves. The Creator can't do it for us. Well, not true. Because in the seventh day it says that God rested. What does it mean that He rested? It means that all of His work was done. And what does it mean that our work was done? Our work was just beginning. So friends, the best advice I can give you is to keep listening. Send me a text or give me a call. If you'd like your own personal Zohar, mini Zohar, give me a call. But that's what we do here. We're here Tuesday and Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. in Jamaica, and 10 to 12 on a Wednesday. Yeah. All right. So again, Sunday night at 10:30 Eastern, we connect to the 30-minute Zohar reading dedicated to Jamaica. And Tuesday night, which was last night, we start at 9 p.m. Eastern and we end at 10:30 p.m. Eastern because of the 30-minute Zohar reading. Right? So give a call, 516, country code +1, 516-965-5700, and get your Zohar, because I tell you, this is what was going to bring protection to yourself and those around you. Right? People are going to be blessed when they're around you because you have a shield of protection when you have the Zohar. Okay? You have a shield of protection. So, I'm just gonna go right back into last night. Let's see. We had about 6 minutes left. I'm just gonna go back 5 minutes. And okay.
Universe has force in it, and the force is the light that Adam and Eve earned. Light that has no breath of shame. So what's the problem? The problem, it's now covered because they injected ego at the end of when the snake came. So the result of eating from the tree of knowledge, good and evil, was being kicked out and creating actually, and being kicked off endless into physical reality. Adam and Eve, meaning us, all the souls, we created physical reality. And now we are here. We are Adam and Eve. Each and every one is a spark from Adam and Eve. Not at all. Tree of knowledge, good and evil, is not physical tree. It's all consciousness. It's the consciousness of relativity. It's the consciousness of physical reality. Physical reality is based on fragmentation, separation. Me, podium, you, everything is separated. That's what physical reality, good and evil. Where good is good only because there's something worse. That's how you know that it's good. And actually this good is bad relative to something better. It's a reality of relativity. The tree of knowledge, good and evil, is what Einstein came to understand, the theory of relativity, but it's written in the Bible. But we're going to go deep, what was there in the tree, in the second part. So, we are here now. Okay, so the second part will go deep into really what was it. The snake came to the woman, what was the discussion, how did he do this work with her and everything, how did he overcome her consciousness. That will be the whole second part. In the meantime, I just want to touch base with one thing, and that is, we are here now. What is our work? What is our work? So at the very beginning, when Adam and Eve became physical, and they were on this planet, physical, they have children and grandchildren, physical. At the very beginning, they didn't have prior incarnation to be their tikkun like us. Our tikkun is based on what I did past lifetime and lifetime before, right? They didn't have it. What was their work? Their work was now is just to release or to elevate sparks of light from physical matter. Because all the light that they already earned is now covered. That's all. It's like uncover it. How do you uncover from physical matter? For that we need a whole discussion, another seminar. How do we do it? But basically, I'll give you an example from food. Food has nourishment for the body, right? But it also has the light that Adam and Eve already earned. There is no breath of shame there. You can take it for free. The light, okay? The light itself. Physical you need to buy, but the light is yours. All you need to do is make connection with it. And that's why we do blessing. When we take food, the blessings that we do is not blessing God. Thank you, God, for the food. That's not what we need to do. We do an abracadabra. It's an abracadabra to release the sparks of light that belongs to us. It is ours. But to connect my soul, and I am part of Adam, your soul, right? Part of Adam and Eve. Each and every one of us. We are sparks of Adam and Eve. To connect my soul with the light that is in food, I need to say an abracadabra. So that's one way how we do it. I can do it with the light of Adam and Eve that is in this podium also. I can use the podium to be a politician and my ego, and then the light of Adam and Eve here will stay there. Or I can use the podium to teach Kabbalah, spiritual stuff, right? For sharing. And the light of Adam and Eve will be released from here and will go back where it's supposed to go. All our, what we know, what we learned in the center, positive work that we do, meditations, sharing, whatever we do positively, we need to meditate that we are doing it because we want to elevate sparks of light from what we do to bring it back to its root, back to where Adam and Eve did their tikkun. And once we're going to release all the 80% from physical reality, all of it, okay? Let's say the day will come. That day will be called Mashiach. That day will be called mind over matter. Now, matter will not have any force over us. Mind over matter, total mind over matter. If I want to lean on the wall, I will lean on the wall. I want to cross the wall, walk through the wall, I'll walk through the wall. Will be when we are going to release the sparks of Adam and Eve, all of it, up to the last spark. And that's called Mashiach. That'll be at the end of 6,000 years. And then we're going to go into the last 1,000 years to deal with what? With the extra 20% that we didn't do yet. Us, Adam and Eve. We didn't do yet when we were there. And for that we'll need another 1,000 years. So let's hear the Rav talk about the sparks of light, number 5.
Now Adam came, and Adam's job was one objective: remove bread of shame. When Adam did not succeed in removing bread of shame, there emerged two problems. One problem, he didn't succeed in removing a bread of shame. The second problem was, in this corporeal world, where there is the aspect of time, space, and motion, called klipot, which never existed in the Ein Sof. What existed in the Ein Sof was bread of shame. A klipot did not exist in the endless world. Now we have another job, to take out the nitzutzot, as it's called, to take out the force that has been captured by negative human activity, been captured by the Dark Lord, as I call it. Now we have to restore. We have to restore the force and bring it back to where it belongs, in Zeir Anpin. So an additional job came about.
This is an overview of what happened in Garden of Eden. In the second part, we're going to go into details. Oh, snake, how did he approach the woman, why, the whole thing, and really, and we're going to ask many, many questions and answer.
So that was the end of part 1, and we're going to go into part 2, which is the role of the snake. Yes? So remember, friends, this wisdom is given to us to free our mind. You've heard the phrase, "You shall know the truth and it shall set you free." Well, wisdom has a tendency to do that. All right? So, let's go into... So this one is about an hour long. So this will take us up to 11 p.m. So let's listen to Meir on the part 2 of the greatest mystery of all time, the sin of Adam and Eve.
Evening. This is the second part of the seminar about Adam and Eve. And this time we're going to understand the process from a little bit different angle. Same thing, but a little bit different angle. We're going to read a lot from this book that just came out. It's called The Light of Wisdom. The Light of Wisdom by Rav Ashlag. It is in English and Hebrew. It's the first time that this book was translated to English, and part of this book, 2 or 3 chapters here, talk specifically about the sin of Adam, the snake, tree of knowledge, and so on. And that's what I would like to do with you. I will start with raising some consciousness. Some questions. First of all, it says in the Bible that Adam and Eve were naked and they were not ashamed. What does the Bible is trying to tell us with that? Also, why was it says that the snake was how do you say arum, not naked, no, cunning. Cunning, is that a word like this? Like trying to outsmart and that. Why does it say? What was his, try to be very smart, right? Why did the woman, when she talked to the snake, she said that God told us not to eat from the fruit and not to touch the tree. Well, really, God said, only don't eat from the fruit. Why did she add something that God never said? Don't touch. Then why did she, once she tasted it, why did she give it to Adam? After all, if it was so bad, why give it to her husband? Why, was he like a drug pusher? You know, I have it, you too. Doesn't seem right. Also, the Zohar says that when they ate from the fruit, whatever the fruit was, that it was unripe. It was unripe. Boser in Hebrew. Unripe. What's the big deal? Ripe, unripe, right? And also, when the snake spoke with the woman, he mixed some truth and some lies. He did a mixture of truth and lie. Why did he do that? Also, the Rav spoke about, I'm going to hear the Rav once again, the Rav spoke about that the first bite from the fruit wasn't the real problem, the second bite was a problem. What was the difference between the first bite and the second bite? And then God said, the day that you will eat, you will surely die, you will die. And Adam and Eve ate, and they didn't die. Actually, Adam lived 970 years. So was God lying, or did he make a mistake? He didn't know what's happening? Some more questions. The snake was smart. And since the Bible said that he was very smart, not wise, but smart, how come he said some nonsense like, if they're going to eat from the fruit, they'll be like God. Just eating from that, they'll be like God. And how come the woman believed him? She was holy. She was connected. How did she believe him? So Rav Ashlag starts with explaining in this book that there are two types of discerning. One is discerning between good and bad. All creatures, humans, animals, trees, all creatures in the world naturally have it. When they encounter something, immediately they can sense, is it good for me? Is it bad for me? Look at animals. They'll smell, this is good for me, that's bad for me. And different animals will eat different stuff, but the same goes for trees. Some stuff is good, sometimes. So all creatures have this quality. We were created with this quality of discerning between good and bad, between sweet and bitter, right? We like sweet, we don't like bitter, and so on. Good and bad. Good and bad, not morally, but what's good for me, what's bad for me. And only human beings have also the quality of discerning between truth and false and lie. It's very important for us. How come we have it? Where did we get it from? So Rav Ashlag says that everybody, all creatures can discern between good and bad, what's good for me and what's bad for me. And actually this ability or this desire, so important for us to know if it's false, if it's a lie. I don't want it. I want the truth. Some people say, oh, I'm seeking for the truth. Why did you lie to me and that and that? That came to us because of the experience with the snakes. What was the experience there that made us like that? So basically, when Adam and Eve were there in the Garden of Eden, and God told them, you can eat from all the fruit of all the trees. Again, just to remind us, when we talk about Garden of Eden, it wasn't physical, it was all spiritual, it was all consciousness, it was consciousness reality, and the eating from the fruit wasn't eating, it was actually absorbing fulfillment. Okay? So it's just the way the Bible, the Genesis writes it, just in a way that we can understand. But really, it was enjoying through meditation, kind of meditation. But again, they had no physical body. They were pure souls. It's very difficult for us even to imagine such reality because I didn't have even a moment in my life of being pure soul. All my life I was on my physical life, right? I was inside my body, having brain and eyes. So we don't, but we can imagine how it is, okay? Being just soul, just consciousness. So basically, Adam and Eve used the quality of discerning between good and evil and bad, sweet and bitter, right? It feels good, it feels bad. Even babies have it, right? You give something to a baby to eat, they taste. If they taste good, right? They like it. They like this, they throw it out. All people have this quality. With this quality, they started to make the connection with the fulfillment of God and whatever was good, meaning whatever came through earning the light felt good, and whatever came with breath of shame, if they had a little maybe thought of personal agenda, maybe a little bit, it immediately felt bad, pushed it away, I don't want it. They had this quality, and that's how they could slowly absorb and get and accept and take the energy of the Creator, right, without breath of shame. Because otherwise, especially when you get to high voltage of fulfillment, I say voltage, but really what I mean, real intensity of fulfillment, if it involves breath of shame, it can kill. I mean, it's too much. It feels like death because it's too much. So basically, we were supposed to connect by resisting, by not for me, not for me, not for me. What about the tree of knowledge, good and evil? Why God said about that tree, don't touch it. Don't touch it. The idea, there was the energy in that tree was too much, was the intensity was so high that you cannot start with that. You have to get used to it. You get to start the word from bottom, like I said in the first part of the lecture, and slowly go higher and higher and higher. And eventually, the time will come to deal also with the tree of knowledge, good and evil. That's why it says, don't eat from the fruit of the tree of knowledge, not at the beginning. Eve knew it because she heard it from Adam, and the book says, Rav Ashlag says, that basically she was close to the tree. Again, it's not physical closeness, but she got closer to the energy, and she felt that the energy is too much, and it's like you have a fireplace, like here, right? In winter, when it snows in Los Angeles, right? It doesn't snow, right? You sit next to the fireplace and you enjoy, but if you get too close to it, what happens? Right? You can get burned. It's too hot, right? But it's good. The fire is good or bad? It is good, right? But you have to be careful not to be too close. Same with the tree of knowledge, good and evil. And that's what happened with Eve. She was a little bit close to that, and she felt bad. Like this book, Rav Ashlag writes in his book on page 106, at the bottom, it says, but this was not so with the tree of knowledge, good and evil, that was inside the garden, which she already was close to touching. She almost touched the tree. Again, it's not physical, but she always so close in her mind to take the energy there. And she tasted with that, just by being close, taste that was as harsh as death. Being close, like him close to fire, you feel it's burning, right? You were not burnt yet, but you feel like you're burning soon. If you do another step, you're burning. And because she was close to that, that's why she said to the snake, when the snake came to her and said, why don't you eat from that? She says, no. God says, if I eat or touch, I will die. Not because she thought that God said it, but because she felt the energy of the tree. Now the question is, what was the conversation between the snake, the serpent, and the woman? He came to her and he told her, why don't you eat from that? Why don't you eat from that? She said, no, we might die. And he told her, no, you will not die. You will not die. Meaning, basically, he said, yes, touching it could be very harsh, but eating it is very pleasant. That became, you're right, you're close to it, but eating it, you will not die. You will not die. Like, you can take drugs, you will not die from that. It may confuse you, but you will not, first time that you don't take drugs, I'm not saying that. Right? It's not. So, Rav Ashlag says as follows. Yet the serpent denied, and he said, you shall not die. Rather, the bitterness that you taste in the fruit of the tree of knowledge, even when you get so close that you might touch it, is only from your side, from your point of view, it seems like that. This is because the purpose of eating the fruit is, wait, 108, yeah. The purpose of eating the fruit is, of eating the fruit is to make you realize how high your stature is. Meaning, let me tell you, says the snake, God created you so high and so lofty. That's why you need to eat from this fruit, so that you will know. Because he told her, how could it be that God created something negative? The light of the Creator is only positive, is only sharing. Could he create something bad? Can he create something that kills? People think that God gives and God takes. He never takes. He never kills. He's endless life. So he told her, you know the truth. You were there. Light, the light is only life, and therefore you need to connect to the tree because there is so much good there. And your stature is so high. You need to make connection with that also. Only you need to resist. What the snake did, he came to her and he says, listen. And he told her the truth. Listen, you were created there. You left the endless. What for? Because you didn't want bread of shame. So now you're here in the Garden of Eden to work. What is the work? What is your work? Your work is to resist, not to take it for yourself. You're right, don't take it for yourself. But you should know you need to correct. You need to remove bread of shame from everything here. Also from the tree of knowledge, good and evil. This is part of your work. You were created for that. And that was true. That was true. He didn't lie. So basically he told them, if you resist, if you resist the tree of knowledge, good and evil, just resist the desire to receive. You came to the world to do your tikkun, your correction. Don't worry about it. It's true that this tree is very intense, but that's why you were created, right? To take all the way to endless. All the way to endless. And when the snake said it, it resonated with her, because she knew also that this is the truth. The snake, at that point, the snake didn't lie, didn't say anything wrong. He said right, exactly the truth. So she looked at the tree and she saw that the tree is good. That's what the book says. And the woman saw that the tree is good and it's delicious, and just looking at it, so delicious. Meaning, the woman, not only it resonated with her, she didn't even trust, although the snake said the truth, she didn't trust him. She went closer to the tree, okay, to feel how it tastes, and she saw at that point, once the snake awakened her consciousness that it's all about tikkun, about correction, about earning the light, she saw that the tree is good. and it's delicious. And she decided to make connection with the tree, to make connection with restriction. So it's a little bit different than I told you before, because now we're going into details. We're going to see what the sin really was. So her intention was to make connection with the tree in a proactive way, in a way that you resist your nature, in a way that you know what? In a way that you'll do it for the sake of the Creator, to give pleasure to the Creator. Anything wrong so far? From the point of view of the woman? Everything is fine. It seems like everything is fine. And not only that, she really connected it, and she saw that the purpose of life basically is to transform, even if it's bitter, to transform it from bitter to sweet, from darkness to light, from negative to positive. This is the purpose of life. That's what we do. We want to transform every darkness into light. So that's what she was supposed to do with the tree. And that's what she did. And she gave to Adam also. So what was the sin? If that's what she did, what was the sin? It seems like, according to Rav Ashlag, at the beginning at least, it seems like there is no sin. Let me see just 110. So, Rav Ashlag says, she dedicated herself with great sanctity. I mean, totally pure sanctity. Pureness. She made herself very pure to give pleasure to the Creator, to connect to the tree of knowledge, good and evil, right? To give pleasure to the Creator, meaning with restriction, it's not for me, only for the Creator. So far, so good. To fulfill the purpose that was expected of her, right? That was the purpose of Adam and Eve in Garden of Eden. To connect, to take, right? Not for themselves, only for the Creator. And she approached the tree of knowledge, good and evil, that God says, don't. And here we're going to go a little bit deeper. In my life, before I came to the Kabbalah, when I heard about the sin of Adam and Eve, all I knew is that Adam and Eve disobeyed God. God says, don't eat. And they did. And as a result came the punishment. And the punishment was capital penalty, right? Death for Adam and Eve and for all human beings till the end of time. And always I had a question in my mind. She just disobeyed. What's the big deal? Okay, you want to punish. But death? For that? For disobeying? Think about it. It's just disobeying. For that you have to kill a person? What kind of God is that? That was my mind constantly. It didn't make any sense, but I never had the solution for this question. So we go a little bit deeper, and we realize that basically the snake was like cunning, was trying to outsmart. And when he told her, you can eat, then she asked why God said, don't eat. He says, don't worry, you will not die. But he never told her why not to eat. And she never asked. He never told her. He knew the truth. Soon we're going to find out. He knew the truth. Her mistake was she never asked. If she would have asked why not to eat, she got the answer, she would realize. Like a person tells you, don't eat it. Don't eat poison. And you don't know what poison is, right? You know what? Who cares about it? I'll eat poison. And then it's too late to understand it. But if you ask why not to eat, the person will tell you, this is poison. It can kill. Poison kills. She says, poison can kill. There is no space for me to disobey. So her mistake was she didn't ask why. And that's a big lesson for us. A big lesson for us, because if you know why, you can use your own judgment, whether to obey or disobey. But if you don't know why, it's just a matter of obeying or disobeying, right? There's no your own judgment about it. So in Kabbalah we teach, that's what we teach in class number 1. When I teach Kabbalah 1, first thing I say, don't believe me. And always ask questions. And always ask the most important question. What is the most important question in life? Why? Anything they tell you, you do this, don't do that. Whatever the Bible tells you, whatever you see in the Kabbalah center, we do this, we do that. Whatever it is, there's Rosh Chodesh, there's holiday, this. Why? Why? Why should I? Why shouldn't I? The consciousness of why is more important than even knowing what, where, when, and how. That we learn from what happened. Why and what for. So in the next video, in the last video that we'll have from the Rav asked the question, why shouldn't we eat from the tree of knowledge, good and evil? And the Rav is using, again, I told you, I picked up the videos from other classes. So here the Rav is talking about why not to steal. Why? It says, don't steal, do not steal. Why not? Why not? And the Rav said it's not about moral and ethics, and not about religion. It's not religion. Rav said it's a lie. It's false. Rav says, the Bible never meant to tell us, be good, don't be bad people, be good people. Not that. But Rav says, if you want to steal, steal. But when you steal, you take things for free. And whatever comes free comes with bread of shame. If it comes with bread of shame, you cannot have it for long term, and you'll have side effects and do whatever you want. But you should know, these are the laws of the universe. That's why it says, don't steal. And the Rav in this video is going to ask a question this is typical Rav Berg. This is typical my teacher. When the Rav asked, do you want it all, or you do want part of it? What do you want? You want parts, then you will have parts. Then everything will be fragmented, everything will be limited. Or you want the whole thing, everything. If you want everything, you have to resist everything. If you want parts, okay, still, you'll have it for a while, and then it'll be gone. So if you want everything, you need to resist. And the Rav said, don't eat, and I'm going to quote, the Rav will say it, but I want to say it first, because when we listen to the Rav, it'll be so clear. The Rav says at the end of this video clip, not to eat from the tree of knowledge, not to steal, is only a practical method by which you can have what they tell you don't. Whatever the Bible tells you, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. If you don't do it, you can have it eventually. And if you do it, meaning you don't resist, you'll have it, but lose it. That's how it works. Can we see this next video?
Right? Thou shalt not steal. It says that. We say that's a hoax. It's a fraud. Everyone could steal. But the Ten Commandments says, thou shalt not steal. So we answered a long time ago, the Creator never made, how religion started, I told you. It started because it says, thou shalt not. The Creator says, look, boys, be good. And the Kabbalah said the Creator never said, look, boys, be good. Never. You want to eat, it's good for you, go ahead. But what the thou shalt not steal in essence meant was, look, don't you want it all, or you want part of it? You want it all? You restrict, you get it all, because then you earned it. When you eat it, you don't get it all. How do we know that? The 8th bite of a delicious, juicy steak, if you enjoy steak, is not the same as the first one. Don't you see? The more you take in of that physical, corporeal reality, the less you're going to enjoy it. So he gave us some good advice. When you steal, meaning you have not earned that which has now become your possession, so you know what happens with it. Bread of shame comes in, the Tzimtzum comes in, and says, look, from this you cannot enjoy. Where was your restriction? Where was the removal of the bread of shame? And there are laws and rules in this universe, whether we are conscious of it, whether we are not conscious of it, we are now going to become conscious. Kabbalah makes you conscious that when it says, thou shalt not, it's not religion, it's a practical method by which you can acquire exactly that which you are told not to.
So the idea was to restrict with the tree of knowledge. The idea was to restrict. Then it says that the snake was cunning. There is a rule that says that if you want your lie to sustain, if you want to lie, and if you want people to believe you, mix some truth. Actually start with true. Beautiful colors on the screen, and I am God. So you say that, and you see it's true, and I say I'm God, might be true also. You involve true and lie, then people will believe you. And that's what the snake did. So he started to say something true. He told her that the whole idea of eating from the trees, including the tree of knowledge, was for the sake of tikkun, for the sake of correcting, like Rav Ashlag says, because it is known that lie that is not preceded by a word of truth does not come to exist. The serpent, therefore, preceded the lie with a word of truth and revealed the purpose of creation to her. That's how he studied. A snake came to the woman and told her the purpose of creation, and he told her exactly what we teach in Kabbalah 1. Doesn't make us snakes, but he was using what we are teaching in Kabbalah 1. The purpose of creation is correction, resistance, earning the light. Now we told her you can eat from the tree. So what was the problem? What was the problem? So the Zohar says that she ate from the tree when it was unripe. Bosel. It was unripe. And Rav Ashlag explained what does it mean unripe, because she ate it unripe, so what? Some people like it less ripe. Some people like it very juicy. What's the big deal? So it was unripe. Sometimes unripe is a little bit bitter. So it's bitter, but you don't die from that. So unripe is a code word. Unripe basically means you are not ready yet to deal with that level of energy. That's unripe. You're not mature enough. You're not strong enough. Your consciousness is not strong enough. You cannot deal with it right now. You will be able in the future. If I need to run marathon right now, I'm unripe. Meaning I need to prepare myself. I'm not ready for that. It's too much energy. It's great, I think, to run marathon. I've never done it before. I don't think I will. But anyway, I'm unripe. Like Rav Ashlag writes, 118. And this is what our sages meant when they said that they have eaten it prematurely. That is, before it was ripe. That is, before they gained the power and might to control their own desires. When it came to the tree of knowledge, good and evil, the reason why the Creator says don't eat from that is the same reason why the Bible tells us don't do this, don't steal, don't do this, don't do that. All the don't do in the Bible, all the commandments that tells you don't do, all kinds of, don't steal, don't kill, all that, why not? Why not? This is a big secret and a little bit deep. Because all those actions, all those what we call negative actions, immoral, or whatever it is, there's so much light there, so much light, beyond our ability to resist. Once you're involved with this type of actions that the Bible tells us don't, your reactive system grows. Your ability to control your animalistic quality diminishes. So the Bible tells us don't. There is light there. There is, but not yet. Wait until you grow and grow and grow. Wait until you'll be able to resist this, that, and that. Wait until you get all the way to the top. Now you're strong. Now you'll be able to resist your nature. Not before. So that was the idea. Eve was not strong enough, was not ripe. Not that the fruit was not ripe. Adam and Eve were not ripe. That's the big secret that Rav Ashlag reveals to us. Adam and Eve were not ripe, were not ready yet to deal with the energy of the tree of knowledge, good and evil. It's not that they disobeyed. That's not the question. That's not the issue. They were dealing with energies so high that the consequence was away from the Garden of Eden, down to physical reality where everything is limited and life is limited. What we learn from that is that spiritual work is not an easy work. Spiritual work involves restriction. I have to restrict my reactive nature. I have to shut down I have to hold my reactive nature. Spiritual work is not easy because spirituality means, what is a spiritual person? The Rav said, spiritual person is someone who looks inside. Something goes wrong. The first thing he's doing, I look inside, what is my share? What did I do? What was my consciousness that brought upon me this negative situation? I look at myself as the cause and take responsibility. That's not easy. You have to be mature enough. You have to be strong enough. A lot of people say, well, I was driving on the street and a drunk person came with his car and smashed my car. That's my responsibility. Legally, it was his responsibility. Spiritually, my responsibility. That's a spiritual person. You have to be strong for that. Spirituality means that everything that happens to me is a result, good or bad, everything that happens is because of what I did in past lifetime and lifetime before that. It's not easy to be spiritual. No wonder that people start the journey, and a lot of people, say, okay, thank you for what I learned, it was great, but that's it, I don't want to go on with it, because going on means I have to take more responsibility. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ripe yet. Maybe they don't say it, but that's what's in their mind. You need to have a spiritual maturity. That's why we don't teach Kabbalah, deep Kabbalah, to beginners. Some people can, some people cannot. And that's why we learn from that when people are involved in Kabbalah, we take it easy with them. You come, you don't come, you do, you don't do that. Easy with beginners. Only people who are deep into it can do more. So the snake was cunning, he told her this truth. He didn't tell her that she cannot deal with the energy yet. He didn't tell her that she is unripe. And she didn't ask. That was the problem. That was basically what caused the sin. The sin itself was touching with energy too much. It's like touching fire, touching electricity. Well, touching electricity, do I have to be punished by that? You're not punished. You're touching energy that's beyond your body's ability to cope with. Do I make myself clear? The same happened in Garden of Eden.
So, in the beginning, they had to receive for the sake of giving to the Creator. So what's happening with the tree of knowledge, good and evil, is that it was so powerful that she wasn't mature enough to be able to receive it for the sake of the Creator?
Right. The energy in the tree of knowledge, good and evil, was too much for them to restrict at that point. Restrict means, I agree. Okay, I make it clear. Restrict means to take it just for the sake of the Creator. Too much. It's like if I have to smoke cigarettes just for the sake of the Creator. Okay? I can smoke and drop it after a while. I have no personal agenda with this. But taking heroin, you take once, twice, or 3 times, and after that, you have no control over it. The body cannot control. The body demands. The body cannot resist. There's certain levels of energies we cannot deal with it yet. That was the tree of knowledge, good and evil. Those levels of energy that it's not for you yet, grow first. Have strength first. Be ripe.
Was it the levels that they didn't correct yet?
No. They needed to correct that and then move to the tree of knowledge. That's why I told her, don't. But don't, it's not about obeying or disobeying. We tell children, don't touch little children, like babies, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years old, don't touch electricity. What do children do? They go to electricity and they look at you with a finger like that, right? These are remains, from Adam and Eve, from the sin. Really, it is. We still have it, because we didn't correct it yet. So that's the idea. Don't. It's not punishment. You're not going to be punished. It's just fatal consequence. So Rav Ashlag says that when she tasted from the tree of knowledge, good and evil, and the energy was intense and whatever, the first taste, the first bite was not a problem. Because the first bite, the first time she touched it, she didn't know what it is. She didn't know what to expect. There was no desire to receive for me. There was curiosity maybe. Okay? That's not so bad. But there was no, I want that. I want the tree of knowledge. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Let me try. So she tried. The first bite was not the sin. Even the first bite, the consequence wasn't so harsh. But once she tasted from that, once it was so good, now, oh my God, amazing energy, give me more. And she took the second bite, and after that she couldn't stop anymore.
But how
Yeah.
that the snake knew that she wasn't ready?
It's a good question. How did the snake knew?
How do we know that the snake knew she wasn't ready? Snake doesn't know if she's ready or not.
No, we know it from the books. We know it from the books, and Rav Ashlag talks about it. We should remember that when the Bible gives us all this information, it gives us in a way of codes. It's coded. And that's why when you read the Bible, you don't get that much information. But for that you have the Midrash, you have the Mishnah, Talmud, you have the Zohar that talks about it. You have all Kabbalists that talk about it. Rav Ashlag in this book, it's so good to read. I'm telling you, from chapter 15 to chapter 19 in this book. It's unbelievable. It goes into details. I skipped a lot and explained a lot. But you read that, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable how he goes deep and understand the mechanism, which I just now explained. But he says it in his own words.
So the snake knew because it was a dimension of truth, no?
Because what?
The Garden of Eden was a dimension of truth, meaning everything was exposed, wasn't it?
Yes, but if you are not connected to it, you don't know what it is. And Adam and Eve did not connect to the trees. It's not. They need to first to absorb it. The snake knew. It's a question. Let me check it. I need to check myself. I prefer to check myself before I give an answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So was the snake considered the opponent?
The snake is the opponent. The snake is the opponent. The snake is the angel of death. The snake is Satan. The snake is the klippah. The snake, all the negative words that we have on the negative side, the other side, the dark lord, whatever, Lucifer, all that, all the negativity, all the opposite of the light. That was the snake was. Yes.
The purpose of the existence of the snake was to make them fall, or like that was a challenge, or?
The purpose of the snake was to challenge them. To the ultimate. But what you're asking opens a door for another huge seminar that people ask, and I will not give the answer today, but I will just raise the question to expand our consciousness. Is it okay if I do that? Just to give you the question, not the answer. That didn't God know that this is going to happen? He sent the snake. Didn't he know? Didn't he know? No answer today, but it's a whole seminar that maybe one day in the future will come out. So, basically, the sin wasn't the first bite. She connected, it was too much, she wasn't ripe. But once she tasted it, it was good, she said, give me that bite. Now I know what it is. Knowing what it is, knowing its desire to receive for the self alone, knowing how intense it is, and you want it again, that's it. That's crossing the line. And the Rav is talking about, I'll address your question in a second. The Rav is talking about, is water good or bad? Here, water. Is water good or bad? It depends. If it comes in a cup, it's very good. If it comes as a tsunami, it's a little bad, right? So bad or good is relative to my ability to absorb it. If it's too much, it's bad. Actually, there is no bad, there is no evil. There is within my capacity or too much from my capacity. Too much energy, too much chocolate, too much. Yes?
If the energy was not, I guess, negative, you know, after they eat the fruit, they realize they're naked. So there was an effect of that energy, even though it wasn't evil or it was negative energy.
Right.
So there was an effect. They realized
They were naked. Rav Ashlag writes about it, and he says that the word naked is a code word to realize that they are not perfect, to realize that they are lack, they don't have everything, they didn't earn everything. Because at that point, they lost, they just did 80%, 20% they didn't have, right? And he says, why when we are naked, we feel ashamed, right? Most people are like that. You're naked, you feel ashamed. Why? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong. But it comes from the original sin when naked meant I'm not complete. I have flaws. I have defects. I have less than what I want. I'm not perfect. And it causes me to be ashamed, which is feeling like I'm naked. So the word naked is just a code word for that. I hope I explained myself right. So Rav Ashlag says that the problem was the second bite. And he goes later on, I will not go into it, but he says the seed or the root of all addictions comes from that. From that moment, when Adam and Eve, they ate from the tree of knowledge, good and evil. First bite wasn't the problem. Second bite was the problem. And after that, the Zohar says that Adam said, I ate and I want more from the tree of knowledge. At that point, he couldn't disconnect himself from. Rav Ashlag says that there is a difference between a person who first time touches something, tastes something, and he says, nah, it's good, but I don't want it, or second time, second and third, more than once. If it's more than once, now it's difficult to stay away from. Okay, so let's hear a short video from the Rav.
The first thought I have no control over. It's the second thought that becomes the problem. What was the problem with Adam Arishon? The second bite, not the first bite. Second bite becomes a problem. The first bite is no problem. First bite, he never ate before. He said, nope. Right? Wonderful. Now he can eat because God created the fruit for his benefit. So he did God a favor with the first bite and ate. That's why he ate the first bite. No thought conscious at all. For me, enjoyment, nothing. God, you want me to eat? Okay, I'll eat. God told him eat. Right? The second bite was difficult already for him now that he tasted already. It was good.
This is the idea. This is a little deeper aspect about what really happened there. There is much more to that. A lot of stuff I skipped. In this book, you have a lot. I would like to conclude with some takeaway. What can we take away from what we learned today? One thing that we can learn is when people tell you do this, do that, or don't do this, don't do that, always ask why. Always. Okay? And if people don't have an answer that will satisfy you, don't follow what they tell you. Wait, maybe you're not ripe yet. Second thing, we should know that lie cannot sustain unless you mix with it something true. And therefore, Satan, our opponent from inside, will always show me that something is wrong and it will be right, and then he'll give me ideas which are not true into my head and say it's all the same. Meaning I have to be very careful when I see even the truth with other stuff also. How do I know what is true, what is not true? Better always ask. Always have a spiritual teacher. Ask someone. Don't trust your own judgment. I have an idea, great idea. How do I know if it's not mixed with some false ideas? I have an idea, well, there is this, and that. Maybe one or two of these is false. How do I know? I ask other people, and that's how. So ask other people. The third thing we can take away from these classes, from this seminar, is that at any given time in my life, I have to check myself if I'm ready to deal with the situation. Sometimes we are not ripe. Sometimes there is a situation. Sometimes there is something, even if it's positive, but I'm not ready yet. I have a student in the valley, I teach in the valley, and I asked the friend, would you like to meet with me, to talk and that? And the student told me something I never heard before. She said, I'm not ready yet. As if meeting with me is something. Maybe I came with energy or light, whatever it was, I'm not ready, and I respected it, it's great. Person feels he's not ready. We should be aware when are we ready to engage, even with good spiritual stuff, even if it's good. Because if I'm not ready, I can come and never come back. So everything there is a challenge, even a challenge, not just good thing, even a challenge. Maybe I'm not ready for the challenge yet. Maybe I'm not ready. So don't engage with the challenge yet. Be stronger and then do it. The fourth thing is, and this is big, that eventually our purpose in life, our spiritual work in life, is to do everything that we do just to give pleasure to the Creator, just to fulfill God's sharing. Nothing for myself. Nothing. No personal agenda. Can we do it? I don't think we can do even a tiny little thing of that. Just for the Creator, nothing for me. My body demands. I need to sleep. Where am I sleeping for? Only for myself. You see, already 8 hours gone. Not doing my purpose. But eventually we need to come to a point at the end of the tikkun, meaning once we're going to finish all our tikkun, the result will be that we are going to do spiritual work just for the Creator, just to give, just to manifest His sharing. I cannot do it now. It's impossible right now. But I shouldn't lose sight with the goal. In spite of the fact that I cannot do it, I can't. But don't do that. That's what I want to be. That's where we are going to end up. We need to have a goal, a target, a purpose. And that's the purpose. In the meantime, what we can do, cannot do just for the Creator. What I can do is desire to receive for the sake of sharing. That I can do. Eventually, I need to be in a place where I share just for the sake of sharing. I cannot do it right now because my body needs to be fulfilled also. I need to take for the sake of sharing. The fifth thing is that realize that in spiritual work, no matter where you are, student, beginner, teacher, wherever you are on the scale, the snake will appear. Always. The challenge will appear. He will come. He comes to teachers, he comes to students, he comes to everybody. And he will come again and again and again. Something I learned from the Rav about 25, 26 years ago, when the center was very small, when our ability even to survive as a center was shaky. Not enough money and nothing. I mean, we didn't have really just to exist even. It was very shaky. And somebody wrote in France, in Paris, about the Rav, that the Rav is not a rabbi and not this, all kinds of false things. Someone wrote it and was in the papers, for whatever reason it was. And lawyers told the Rav, this is so easy. It's an easy case because you can totally prove that whatever they wrote is wrong and you can sue them. We can get for you, back at that time, $3 million. It was a huge amount of money. The Rav was thinking about it and thinking, and eventually the Rav said no. The Rav explained why not. He says, I know where it comes from. It comes from my opponent. He wants me to stop spreading Kabbalah, to stop teaching Kabbalah, stop doing what I need to do, stop doing my mission, and be engaged now with going to courts and all these things, 1, 2, 3 years, and eventually have $3 million. And in the meantime, I'm not doing what I need to do. Well, I learned from that story from the Rav that constantly you need to think, does it come from the light or from the opponent? The snake will appear in our life constantly. You need to have a spiritual teacher, somebody to tell you. And the last thing is that we are here to elevate sparks of light, that we are here to connect to the sparks of light that Adam and Eve already corrected. There's no breath of shame there. I don't even need to work for that. All I need is just to elevate through all kinds of abracadabras and all kinds of things, but I'm here to elevate sparks of light. Any more questions? If not, I would like to thank you very much for your attention, that you stayed all the way. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, there you have it, friends. Deep stuff, huh? Yeah. Really deep stuff. But that's what you will learn here on Kabbalah for Jamaicans. This is the wisdom. These are the things that make you think. And come to realize that what we have, what we were given in the Bible, Old Testament, not even talking about the New Testament, because Kabbalah is strictly based upon the Old Testament. If you hear me talk about the New Testament, it's only because there are some things in the New Testament that are in alignment with the teachings of the Old. Yes? So, I also want to thank you guys for listening. And I hope you continue to listen. Because this is the wisdom that will help to transform you. And remember, I said that if you want to begin to align your life with these teachings, this energy, start listening more. Start listening to the Torah reading on Saturday. Again, I'm going to give out my phone number. Send me a text. Let me know that you're interested. We'll get you on the list and we'll send you out the links for the Zoom. Country code +1 516 965 5700. Again, country code +1 516 965 5700. We're here Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 to 10 p.m. Jamaica time. And we're here on Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for 30 minutes, where we connect to the 30-minute Zohar reading dedicated to Jamaica. So until next time, friends, have a wonderful, wonderful week and walk good. This has been Diaspora Connection featuring Kabbalah for Jamaicans. Good night.